everybody's talking about how you have to be happy. And so I started looking it up. In the Bible it talks about joy and happiness, in the Quran it talks about happiness, in the Tarot it talks about happiness. And all of them talk about happiness being next to godliness, happiness and joy. And so when you think about that, people have been trying to achieve that happiness for a long, long time. I don't know, did the Druids talk about happiness?
They talked about balance.
Balance, well that would be great.
And in that is happiness.
Happiness. Well, our wonderful Druid practitioner here, and we know Druidism goes way back, so we call her in on some of these things. And so what I've always thought is that if I could get really happy, my whole life would change, and it did. That's what helped change it. But what happens if you're not a happy person? Okay, sometimes you're not a happy person. You don't just break out in song and sing in the rain, you know? And sometimes you might be an introvert. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes you might get really depressed. So, now if that depression stays for a long time, look for some professional help, and maybe some medication would help. Don't ever just get stuck in that depression where every morning you wake up and it's cloudy skies and you feel that there's no tomorrow. That's not a place to spend your life. That's a place to move away from. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to help move away from it. And so, Annie, if you could turn on our duck. Before you do, I'm going to talk about him, okay? Corky was in a casino. Oh, no, not that. And she saw this duck, and it was expensive. It was like $40 for this duck. And she said, you know, if I win a lot of money, I'm going to buy that duck. Okay, so she went out, played a slot machine, and won $1,000. So this duck is called Affirmation. Affirmation, the CCL duck. And I want you all to sing along with this duck, and I'm sure you know the song, okay? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will always show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and your face will always show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! If you're happy and you know it, and your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray! Yay! And a prayer was in there that he didn't fall off the altar.
You know, so moving back.
How did that make you feel?
Happy.
What was it about it? That made you feel happy? It was up. And it was almost life-affirming.
It was cute.
Yeah, and he's cute. And he's silly.
And it's positive.
And he's fuzzy. Good. Yeah, that'll do it too. A lot of people feel like it's not okay to have fun in church.
Who?
Somebody else. I've been to some of those churches. And, you know, if you laugh too loudly, they glare at you. And I've always thought church is kind of fun. In fact, to the point that when I was 13, I had a dear friend of mine, and she went with me to Catholic church, and I went with her to Southern Baptist Sunday School. And we would sit there as little 13-year-old girls reading the name of the hymns and then putting between the sheets after it. Coming to God between the sheets. Whatever it was, these little girls giggling in those dirty little voices that little 13-year-olds get. That was some of the most fun I've ever had in church. And thinking of Patricia and I just giggling. We were always tossed out. And then that even made us laugh more. So when you think about that, we were happy enough in being these fun little 13-year-olds. And they kept putting us down. And now when I hear Southern Baptist Church, I'm not really excited about it. It was like they were always putting me down. And I thought, what a shame. If somebody had said, what are you laughing about? Oh, that's funny. It was. Still is. And I'm a little bit older than 13. So think of that. If you've ever attended AA, They talk about God wants us to be happy and joyous. And this is being said to some people who haven't been happy and joyous for quite a while. And they talk about that, how to get happy and joyous. And that's to get in charge of your life. When you're out of control of your life, you're not really happy. So I want you to think about that. What is it that you do that puts you in charge of your life and makes you happy? I'm always talking about the fact that, at least once a year I go jump in a fountain down at Caesar Chavez Park. Because, it really cools you off. And you'd be surprised. The adults are all going, oh, and the kids are going, yay, splash, 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 splash. Let's get the old lady wet, It's really fun. And what happens? They said, well, what about your dignity? I'm not sure I have any. Or I wouldn't be wearing this beautiful hat that Terry. And so, for me, stomping in mud, jumping in fountains, giggling and laughing inappropriately makes me feel like I'm alive. And that's what I do. I once had a group of people standing around, somebody says, well, I've got a story about Dottie. And everybody in the, Sherry, was one of them, and they all agreed that everybody had a story.
We all have stories, yes we do.
Something that was kind of inappropriate. And it's because of that living. I'm here to have fun. And I don't know about you, but I've noticed that some of you are here to be sad, miserable, and just plain old, oh, that's not what you were here for. That's not what you were put here for by God. It's to enjoy life, it's to have fun. Some folks might think you're crazy. Okay?
Yes.
And so, it's like a woman was talking to me, no, she was saying, oh, I put on weight and I can't go to the ocean and I can't wear a bathing suit. And I said, that's never bothered me. She says, that doesn't. I said, no, I go to San Gregorio. For those of you who don't know, it's a nude beach. Forget the bathing suit, And she said, well, isn't that awful? And I said, well, not really. Somebody has to be the biggest person on the beach. And hey, if I'm it, they're going to remember me, aren't they? They're going to go home and think, guess what I saw? That joy. I'm afraid of what you're going to think about me. I want you to know me and love me and appreciate me. And whether you appreciate me because I'm doing something crazy, or whether you appreciate me because I sing along with a duck, it doesn't really matter. It's that appreciation that I'm a human being having a joyful life here on the planet. And so even though some of you don't wear crazy hats, and some of you might not have even sung along with the duck, I want you to know that you can be happy. You don't have to have that outward expression all the time. If you are introverted, that's fine. But get happy inside. It doesn't always have to be an outward expression. You can have that stoic look, but inside be giggling your head off, But start finding that happy place within you. Now, I have some things that I'm going to pass out in a little bit, so think about if you want to read out loud today, okay? We extroverts really derive a lot of pleasure from feedback, especially from the introverts, who walk up after service and say, I could never have done that. Oh, yeah. Good, I got to. But maybe you should try. Maybe you should try something, a little bit of that craziness and that happiness. Then what happens, and how many of you know a lot of extroverts, people are outward. Well, there's a book that has been written, and it's called Quiet. The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. Okay. That those that are extroverted look at introverts and think there's something wrong with them. There's not. They're just being quiet. But they're also the audience. What would happen if there weren't anybody sitting in the audience? We were all on stage. It'd be pretty dull.
We entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
Still.
You need those people that are quiet. We need those people that are really good at listening, and they're fantastic volunteers. And a lot of people who are feeling a little introvert are also really good volunteers. So think about that. That's what any introvert needs, is a really good audience. One of the things that we do is we say, I would be happy if only. How many of you have ever done that? I would be happy if only I had more money. I would be happy if I had a perfect relationship. I would be happy if. And that whole thing of, I would be happy if, stop it, say I am happy.
I am happy.
One more time.
I am happy.
One more time, the feeling.
I am happy.
Yay! That does it. Because the more you say it, the more you are. And think about that. If there's not an if. I was mentioning that yesterday I did 7 readings, and I was kind of tired at the end of the day, and I had 2 people I'd done readings on that, and I thought, they're never going to be happy. This one woman said, I will never be happy. And I thought, wow.
You're right.
It's like self-fulfilling prophecy, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, what an affirmation. And you know why she will never be happy?
Because she keeps telling her.
No, because she has to lose 15 pounds.
Oh.
15? 1 5?
1.5.
Please.
Or, you know why? Because if she doesn't wear trendy clothes, nobody will like her.
Oh. You know, that sounds a lot like conditional love, doesn't it, you know?
And so it was like, and whatever I talked about, and my spirit guide, Ma, is fantastic, and as I'm channeling this and saying, this is why you should be happy, no, I can't. You know, I can't. Well, my belly sticks out, I can't be happy. And I went, whoa, my belly stuck out since I was 2. I didn't know that was a criteria to have a flat stomach. And so I started thinking about, what is it that you, and here in the audience, would think that would make you happy? And when you think about it, so just go inside and say, what is keeping me from being happy? Think of what comes up. Is it a new car? Is it a new house? Is it that you don't feel God loves you? What is it that keeps you from being happy?
Yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Reverend Ann, that's true. And when you come way down to it, it's you. And so what happens when you aren't happy? Others are around you aren't either.
Right.
So think about that. You know, if you have people in your life and all they talk about are negative things, pretty soon you start feeling negative. Okay, I have a saying, and if I ever say this to you, heed it. I will listen to you with one more piss and one more moan. And then I'm sorry, you're not going to be in my life. And they look at me and say, well, you can't do that. That's one moan. You know, think about it. Those people that pull you down so that you can't be happy. They're like, you're this beautiful hot air balloon ready to soar, and they're putting all these threads around you to keep you down. You don't need to hang around with those people. I hear folks say, but they need me. They need me to make them happy. Has it worked? No. Then think about back to happiness. If happiness and joy are things, joy is mentioned 300 times in the Bible. Okay, that's a lot more times than some of the things that they're chanting about that we shouldn't do. They're not telling us we need to be joyful and praise the Lord. Happiness is mentioned 50 times. Happiness and joy all through the Bible. And yet we keep thinking we have to be serious. If we're not serious, nobody's going to take us seriously. What happens if we're happy and everybody takes us with happiness? Isn't that a whole different way of looking at life? Well, as I told you, I'm going to ask some people to do some readings. So if Annie, I'm going to let you pass them out, okay?
Okay.
Annie's my go-to person because she looks so cute in those purple shorts.
Hey. And my goddess t-shirt.
Yes, that's lovely. Yeah, okay, so just, anybody raise your hand that would like to read
Raise your hands.
something?
Okay.
Here we
You
go.
want to select one?
Just grab one.
Just grab one. There you
Yeah,
go,
there
Kat.
we
Jan? Who else? Let's get some people, oops, outside the front row. Can I have that one, please? Oh, thank you.
No,
Okay.
take
There's
one.
two. Take one, give one to Carmen, please.
See, now you wish you said
He
the
got
front
it.
row.
Oh,
I'm gonna run out before I run and get volunteers. I got two left. Give one to Paul or David. You guys can read it together. Jim, Donna, Jim, I think Jim. Sorry, Donna.
There you go. Okay.
I didn't get one either. That's okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm really unhappy now. lying.
So now what happens, you have to stand up and read it.
Okay.
And so, and we're gonna start out with, it says, choosing to smile. Who has choosing to smile? Number 2, okay, no.
Choosing to smile and consciously deciding to have a good day induces endorphins and other uplifting chemicals in the brain. You can develop inner joy and happiness by...
For like blank, like whatever you want. But how do you induce happiness?
Okay. Thinking of cheerful thoughts, looking at the color sunshine yellow, watching bees and butterflies in my backyard.
Yay! Okay, go on.
Practice frequently ideas you will hear this morning on a daily basis and increase your baseline happiness level and bring about a more consistent feeling of joy.
Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, try something new. Michelle.
Try something new. Just as you should always be stopping negative thinking, feeling gratitude and getting outside your comfort zone, you should keep trying new things. Whether this is something as intense as skydiving or rock climbing, or something like learning to garden, paint portraits, taking a college class, or singing with your dear friend at church, you'll be keeping your brain sharp and yourself from getting stagnant and depressed.
Thank you so much. Number 2.
Get outside your comfort zone. Your whole life you're going to find yourself in situations where you aren't entirely comfortable. Today is the day you gain confidence and the resources to deal with the uncertainties of life and help you to stay happy.
Yes, thank you, Kathy. Okay, who can stop negative thinking?
That would be me. Stop negative thinking. Every time you have a negative thought about yourself or other people, stop and reframe the thought into a positive or neutral one. For example, if you find yourself thinking, I will never have a fulfilling relationship, reframe that thought as, in the past I haven't had a good relationship, but the past only informs the future if I let it. So, that doesn't mean that I will never have one. I am happy where I am in life right now, knowing better and happier things are coming.
Yeah. Okay, number 4.
Cultivate gratitude is one of the single most important things you can do to lead a life where you feel happy, content, and fulfilled. Even if things are not going well, remember that things have gone well, and some things are going well, and that things will go well in the future. Keep a gratitude journal. Jot down all the little things that happened throughout each day that you were grateful for and happy about. This will remind you what you already have that makes you happy and grateful.
How many people have a gratitude journal? Do it. Put it in your notes on your smartphone. Just put down what you're grateful for. Okay, number 5.
Share what you can. Share it and give back to your community. Whether it's time, money, or resources, will help you live a more happy and fulfilled life because your charity reduces stress. Because in giving back, you're more likely to experience joy, optimism, and a feeling of control in your life. Even if you have very little, give what you can. This can be something as simple as a $1 or $5 donation to a project that you think is important, or you find a way to do this without using money, like giving your time to a cause you find important.
And I want to,
Carolyn.
Carolyn gave so many hours and so many days taking care of our wonderful Reverend Virginia Scene while she was in her process of making a transition. And that was incredible. And she also plays flute here. And Carolyn, thank you so much. You do that.
And it works.
And it
I'm
works.
happy.
Because you're happy. I like number 6. Who has number 6?
Remember that people are more concerned with themselves than with you.
Stop there just a minute. Have you ever thought of that? People are more concerned with themselves. They really don't care much what you do. So think about that. Every time you go, oh no, they're all watching. Yeah, they don't really care.
Don't allow other people to make you unhappy. Even when you think all eyes are on you, people are more likely to be thinking about themselves than judging you. If you have social anxiety, start talking with one unknown person a week. Try it today after services. You can work up to going to an event by yourself or dealing with people on a regular basis. You will be amazed at how happy you feel with these small successes.
Okay. Now, for those of you who are new, be prepared. This is the first time here. You're going to have a lot of people walking up and introducing themselves.
All right.
Hey, this is who I am. We're gonna work on that. Any of you ever kind of afraid of going someplace new?
No, yes, sometimes, by myself.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. And why? Why are you afraid? Are you afraid of being judged, or what's going to happen?
Unknown.
Unknown.
Yeah.
You feel like kind of out of control, don't you?
Not sure if you're gonna fit in.
Yeah. What does fit in? Oh, that's a good one. What does fit in mean?
Well, when I go through this sometimes where I'm gonna go like.
Come on, this is somebody who performs.
Okay, I'm gonna go to some place to go get on stage to play flute, and it's like, it's not a case of not fitting in, it's just that, I'm there by myself, and it's like, am I gonna feel, I have to be really up, because if I'm not really up, and I'm a little bit kind of, borderline or whatever, then I'm gonna do the wallflower thing, and I'm not probably gonna play, and I'm just gonna bolt out of there, So it's like confronting that awkwardness about just putting yourself out there.
But how does it make you feel when you play?
Makes me feel wonderful.
And so she's keeping herself from doing something that makes her feel wonderful because of those people and what they
Yeah,
want
it's fear of judgment.
Fear of judgment, yeah.
I know what she's talking about. I used to perform, and before each performance, I felt like that.
Yeah.
Walking out on the stage, and you know, if you're gonna hit a bad note while you're singing, or you're gonna forget your lines, it's
Yeah.
really, it's mortifying, and
To whom?
to me,
Yeah.
it's like,
The people you're performing to,
yeah.
they're not gonna care, they're not gonna listen to you again, or they're gonna think it's funny as heck.
But usually, what gets me out is I'm very curious by nature, but I'm curious to see who's out there, and
Yeah. But don't let what people
Yeah.
think of you.
yeah, that's what gets me through it.
And on that, if you hit a wrong note, or if you say a wrong word, 9 times out of 10, the people in the audience don't know it.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
They don't.
So just stay out of that, judgment, okay?
Yeah, unless you give it away.
Positive thinking, who got positive thinking? Oh, yay, yeah.
I can't imagine.
Positive thinking would be me doing this without my reading glasses.
Here's a pair right here.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, what is it? Oh, I they test it.
Yay!
Wow, that says something totally different than positive thinking. I thought I'd have an ad lib up here. But you don't have the sheet. Positive thinking often brings happiness to the surface quickly. Adopting a positive attitude can indeed improve your mood and bring on temporary happiness. Regardless of the problem, situation, or circumstance, you do choose whether you want to feel happy and joyful or depressed and sad. The key is to practice positive thinking and make it a daily goal. Practice recognizing the simple delights in life. Feel grateful about what you have. Focusing on what you have in life will increase that baseline level of happiness and bring on lasting feelings of joy. Feeling grateful for your health, employment, family, friends, home, etc. increases your happiness.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Okay, who has number 8? Okay, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you. Those were Virginia's.
Own
Or you
yourself
can have this
and
one
your
that says
actions.
like brass colored. Oh, thank
You have a choice about how you act and how you react, and you need to take responsibility for those choices, rather than acting as if everything happens to you. your happiness in life depends on one thing and one thing alone. Looking at life in a positive and joyful way. Do you find this impossible and you are in too much of a depressed, anxious, and negative space? Then find ways to get help. Either some psychological or spiritual help, and possibly you will need some antidepressant, no, maybe anxiety medicine. You need to learn to put yourself first. There is nothing bad or shameful in being depressed, but there are tools to help you get back to happiness.
Thank you so much, David.
And myself, I don't use meds, I always reach inside myself.
Good job. Wonderful. Thank you so much, David. Thank you.
Can I just follow on to that for
Sure.
a second? There's a resource that most of you probably already know, and if you don't, it's something good to look into, and if not, it's a good refresher. Sherry and Esther Hicks Abraham, the book Ask and It Is Given. The basis for their process is figure out where you are and take baby steps to get from where you are to where you want to go. If you try to leap, your system can't handle it. But it's a fantastic book on establishing in the moment where you are, and then giving you really good tools to take this step, which gets you that step, and that momentum then can carry you forward.
Good. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, Eileen.
And sometimes part of those baby steps is, you know, there's a lot of different reasons that, a lot of different reasons that depression can happen. And sometimes it is an actual biological chemical imbalance that is, you know, there's no fault in it, there's no error in it, there's no, you know, there's no real shame in it. So, you know, if that is something that helps, finding a practitioner who can be able to assist you with that is important, because that's a part of the steps. You know, maybe you just need it to level off for a while, or maybe, you know, like a diabetic, or, you know, or someone with a condition that, you know, just needs that physical chemical assistance. So, you know, being able to reach out for that in a good way and feel confidence and proud that you're doing something for yourself is really important.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Yes, Celine.
I see the world with words, and Dottie's an extrovert, and sometimes I'm an extrovert, introvert, in the middle, whatever the situation calls for. But while I'm up here talking to you, I hear, and it's not a criticism, but I hear from the extrovert, have fun, and I see this person that I would consider a fool doing all these things. So what I do is I know that I'm happy, but I'm not having fun, because that's the other person's word. So I go to Webster and I look. It could be giving myself permission, it could be laughter, but what it is I use the word enjoy. And as I look at this, I am in joy of happiness.
Wonderful. Thank you. The air is not on, and it's getting really warm in here.
I would if I knew how.
There goes Courtney. She
I don't know how, so I
wanted to add on the thing about, you know, you said something about just that if you do something, that taking an action, and I found, because I sometimes do the roller coaster thing, and I found that when I'm finding myself kind of in a low point, that just taking any action, like what you were talking about, will make you feel more empowered, and then it takes you out of the other things I found is going to the ocean's huge for the negative ions. Laughing, if you can get yourself to laugh, even if you're really, really down, you look in the mirror and you go, ha, 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 ha. And so finally you start laughing, because it will make you laugh. And if you can get yourself to laugh, it breaks the spell. Because I have struggled with this a lot, and I don't do any kind of medications either. The other thing that works, at least for women, it's been proven by John Gray, that if you pick up the phone and you call a girlfriend, it's got to be a female, sorry, that it actually increases your endorphins and your oxytocin. So that's what I do. I reach out, you know, I have my whole list of things, and then I also have a lot of supplements that I take. So if anybody has struggles with that, I got a whole list.
I have pets, as you all know, and I have a cat and a dog that sleep with me. And they are, in the morning, they are loving and caring, and they're upbeat. And it's amazing because it transfers to me. This morning I sat there with both of them and I thought, they've started my day off beautifully. You know, it was just like, I'm happy to be here with you. It's called unconditional love, you know, and it's very cool. And I thought, and it was funny that you should be speaking of it because I see them every day of the year. But today it just happened to hit me that they started my day off right. It wasn't, I'm late, I've got to hurry, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I just sat and let them emote their happiness to me. And I just had to share that because if any of you have pets, try it.
Well, you know, yes, we actually do get a good call today. You know, all these wonderful things that people have shared, you know, I still find myself wanting everybody to stand up and sing and hug and dance and do a service.
Plug in there.
We'll talk. And because all along, I'm being joyful, I'm being happy, and then I realized that your spirituality is an inside job, just like your happiness is. How you express your connection with Creator, you don't have to show it to me. It's here. And your happiness, it doesn't have to be you jumping in fountains and wearing silly hats and dancing to a duck. You know, it can be how you feel it, as long as you're feeling happy. So if somebody comes by and says, you don't look like you're having fun, you say, yes, I am. I'm enjoying.
Donnie, to springboard from what you just said, I think that there's an element of joy or happiness that is a person's connection to themselves.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have a connection to yourself that says, I approve.
Right.
Everything that you think to do, you are okay with as far as you looking at you. If a person has an instance where when they look at what they're doing, they're not okay with it,
stop doing
it begins the cycle of going down the drain and negativity and so on, and they judge themselves harshly.
Right.
So that's the place to reconcile, to bring back the happiness, I think.
Exactly, thank you so much. And when I was talking about, I had put this in CCL, I have a member of my family, he is my cousin's husband, who, his spirituality, and some of you, if you've ever been to Santa Maria, might have seen it, is that he drags a huge life-size cross, down the street of Santa Maria.
Oh.
And to him, that's showing people that he is walking the path like Christ did, and that is his spirituality. And other people throw things at him and make fun of him. And one day, his wife asked him, are you sure you want to keep doing this? He said, as long as it makes me feel connected to God, I'm going to continue. And I thought, how many of us feel connected to God all the time? We don't have to have that cross, or we don't have to have that Star of David, or we don't have to have that crescent. But that connection with your vision of God or Goddess, hold on to it. And if somebody says, well, I don't think you're being very spiritual, you say, you should see what's going on inside. So be passionate in everything you do. I don't care what it is. Get into the passion of doing it. Because when you show that you're passionate about something, and that you're not afraid of people, because they're children of God. You're not afraid of life, because that's what you're here for. You're here to live. You weren't born to just sit. You were born to live. Be happy. Be joyous. Look at kids. Look at 2-year-olds. Okay? They can no more not be happy. And so get into that joy. Not everyone is going to like you. Oh my gosh, how awful. What do you mean they're not going to like you? They don't have to. You don't represent what they find likable for some reason. It might be because you wear glasses, or it might be because you're female or male. It doesn't make any difference. Everybody doesn't have to like you, but you have to like you. And be okay that you don't have to even be interesting to everyone, as long as you're interesting to yourself. It certainly helps if people like you, but not everybody is. I want to read a warning. Many people think if they try something does not work right away, it means it will never work. But be warned that if you truly want to change your life and be happy, you have to put your entire being into it. And that includes asking for help if you need it. How many people here feel they have to go through stuff by themselves because they either deserve it, they made it happen, they're in charge? No. We've all done something that we feel, I'd like some help here. You know, you just raise your hand, put out the energy, you call me, email me, say, Dottie, I need some help. I might not be able to be there, but somebody will. You're not alone in this life, and you're really not alone at CCL. And so think about that. I'm not feeling happy. I'm not feeling loved. I'm not feeling supported. I'm first going to ask for help, and at the same time, I'm going to reach out to the Creator.
And
Yes.
angels and guides.
Angels and guides, yes.
You know what I noticed lately is that if I pretend to be happy, I seem to get happy, like, I know I'm not happy,
Fake it
but
till
I'll
you make
pretend.
it.
Fake it till you make it,
Fake it till
exactly.
you make it.
So that's kind of like, I don't know if that makes sense, but
Very
it
much.
seems
It makes
to
perfect sense.
work for moments in my last few days, like, oh, okay, I'm good, and then all of a sudden I'm good, like, I really am good.
Everybody after church, look at her chest, okay?
Check out her shirt.
I say that's all.
Hey, it was funnier my way. That's what the service has been. I want to thank you all very much. We're going to hear from these delightful ladies again. Thank you.